Okay. Welcome to the Operations Committee meeting of September 10th, 10 a.m. I'd like to call this meeting in order. Do we have any pecuniary?
A lot of Canadians roll up.
None known.
Okay. None here. Welcome to the Operations Committee meeting of September 10th, 10 a.m. I'd like to call this meeting in order. Do we have any pecuniary?
A lot of Canadians.
Like, not having a stroke, am I?
No. No.
Do you have any pecuniary interest?
No,
Okay,
No.
so we
carry on.
keep going. Okay.
This is,
Circulation of prior meeting minutes. They were approved at the July council meeting. We'll go down to, there's no ongoing task list this month. So we'll go down to health and safety. I do have a question. Looks like we're not using mesh for
No.
health and safety. We're back to paper.
yeah. I'm not sure if it's permanent yet or not, but I think it is. We're looking at other options.
Okay, good.
There's an
So-
update to follow.
Okay, looking at the arena, I don't see anything. I'll move that we receive and file
Seconded.
arena joint health and safety. Thank you. Public works. Don't see anything there as well. I'll move that we receive and file
So moved.
public works. Thank you. Oh, new business. Arena monthly report. Mr. Lucas. Yes, reports.
Reports, yes. Yes, July and August. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This is the report for July. Black McDonald, confirmed all supplies in order for the new hall water system at Community Hall. Dixon Construction had confirmed their date for the concrete, the Olympia room. We had a request from the Point Edward Early Learning Center to utilize the arena parking lot for a tough truck fundraiser on Saturday, September 28th. The meeting was held on July 18th to discuss the logistics of the event. The group will be utilizing the community hall and north parking lot for the event. The only request they had from the arena side was to have the Olympia on display for the day. We should be able to accommodate their requests if the ice installation goes as planned, very weather dependent. Black McDonald have been confirmed for startup on Monday, September 16th. Age Friendly Expo has tentatively booked for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 for their Age Friendly Expo. Graham Nesbitt has been booked for Saturday, September 21st for white ice painting. All paint supplies have been ordered from Graham. Between July 22nd and the 26th, Black McDonald installed new on-man hot water system for Community Hall. Jim Roberts power control provided electrical work on the project. A&W Locksmith was in on July 31st to install the new door and frame at the north entrance of the Community Hall, the 2024 capital project. Starting Mile Cross and the Point Edward Ball Hockey League conclude their seasons during the last weeks of July. Thanks to Great Foods for our great summer. In July, we had 3 full-time employees and we were in full rotation at Public Works. All employee training, all arena employees completed accident and incident investigation awareness training. Facility activity, total floor rentals for the month of July were 51 hours. Some of the factors that were affecting it were Point Edward Ball Hockey League concluded on July 24th. Sunny Minor Cross program ended on July 31st. Interior, regular maintenance and cleaning, daily, exterior, general maintenance around the building, community hall, obviously the optimist continue to manage the community hall. Hot water system upgrades were completed on July 26th and the new door and frame installed on July 31st. Red & Co. continued to operate the snack bar and then they put in a request to have an exterior door and snack bar replaced. The door is very flimsy. We do have a couple of other doors in need of help as well. This may be a good 2025 capital budget item. Monthly inspections for fire extinguisher A&D completed, generator test completed, and work and pest control for monthly inspection, no issue. For in-venue advertising, a meeting is needed to discuss options and price. I think might have an update on it. Vehicles and equipment, request to have the Public Works water truck starting in September again. Steve mentioned he will accommodate once water tank is removed. customer satisfaction. Many thanks to the Sarnia Minor Lacrosse coaches and executives for another great season at the Point Edward Arena. They were very complimentary of the staff and the level of service they received all season long. Health and safety, one of the SOPs that was signed by Health and Safety Coordinator completed, nothing to report with security. Capital and operating budget, obviously we have the heaters, the portable audio system is complete, the hockey nets have been delivered. Emergency and exit lights have been installed, overhaul and compressor have been completed. Rubber batteries have been installed, and through concrete repairs are now complete. Roof inspection is needed to be booked. Community hall door and frame replaced, and the on-demand water system has to be completed. Closing comments, July was the last month of rentals for all but one of our summer clients. Sarnia Minor Lacrosse and Point Edward Ball Hockey League both concluded their seasons in late July. Overall, the summer was very busy and very successful. We look forward to next year when we hope to welcome back all the regular clients. Looking ahead to August, we will start the process of booking and confirming our winter ice clients for the upcoming season. We will also be confirming dates and times for the 2 Silver Stick tournaments in the Skate Ontario figure skating competition. On the maintenance and capital project side, the Olympic and concrete repairs will be completed in early August, and it is hoped to have Black and Mac in to do their inspections of the refrigeration plant and repair any outstanding issues before startup. Work management side, arena employees will continue to work at public works till the end of the month, and then transition back to the arena on a full-time basis after May Day. Any questions or concerns from that?
So you guys are back from public works and
After, yep.
I just want to comment on the on-demand system. The good use of funds. Right? It looks like we saved a significant amount of money on the floor.
Yeah.
That was a win-win. Great. Good work. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the monthly report for August. A&W Locksmith had to come back in to rekey the new community hall exterior door. The master key arena, we're not working on the new lock set. Fixing construction, we're on August 6th to start the Olympia room concrete repairs. This was an outstanding 2023 capital project item that was carried forward. All work, including installation, check and play over the new concrete was completed in a timely manner. I can update that last Friday they were back into countersink check the plate at the Olympia doors. We were having an issue getting doors closed. So they've actually countersunk it to make it flush. Bullet roofing was called in on August 6th for a leak in the front lobby. There was a tear in the TPO on the roof. During the week of August 12th, the process of booking all winter ice clients began. As of this report, all previous groups are returning, and we added 1 new regular daytime user as well. Currently, we have no primetime ice available, only return when we get them, and 5 non-primetime hours per week available to rent. First ice availability is scheduled for Monday, September 30th. The carnival is scheduled for the weekend of April 4th, 2025. Olympia blades have been scheduled to be sharpened on September 6th. Hockey nets have been confirmed for the 20th. They have been delivered. Seasonal worker Daniel Marr has indicated he'll return this winter. We look forward to working with Dan once again. On August 22nd, we had representatives from Verticalized Creative Incorporated utilize the arena to film a promotional video for Royal LePage Key Realty in hopes of attracting prospective new residents. The boys and girls North American Silver Stick Hockey Tournament final dates and times have been confirmed by both conveners. The girls tournament will run from January 2nd to the 5th, 2025, utilizing Point Edward for 2.5 days. And the boys tournament will run from the 17th to the 19th of January, with the Point Edward getting 2 days of action. We look forward to hosting both tournaments. We were still in rotation at Public Works for most of August. We are all back at the arena now, effective September 3rd. All employees completed heat hazards training online. Supervisory training as assigned by Health and Safety Coordinator completed. That was by me. We only have 1 hour booking. That was on August 1st. Floor rentals ended with the conclusion of inline hockey on August 1st. Regular maintenance inside. Deep cleaning of the arena is scheduled for early September when all interior projects are completed. Exterior general maintenance around the building. Community Hall, Winter Rocks Club, we need to operate the Community Hall, North Door and frame replace, capital item. Red and Co will be back for the winter season. Inspections, monthly fire AED completed, generator completed, Orkin. Also received notice from BSI that our backflow prevention assemblies are due for yearly inspections and we're testing for technical has been contacted and will be tested in early September. Again, nothing to report on advertising, we'll make a update on that. Olympia Blade is scheduled to start in September. Customer satisfaction, we received a lot of positive comments when booking ice clients. Everyone is excited to get back to the rink and get on the ice once again. The all-inclusive pricing has been a huge positive for all users. Monthly SOPs. At a time, but safety coordinator, security, nothing to report. All capital budget items are done, other than the roof inspections, which I need to talk to them about that one. Closing comments. In August, we saw the end of summer rentals for another year. It was a great summer at the arena. Once again, on the capital project side, we observed the completion of the concrete repairs in the Olympia room and the delivery of the new auction. Also in August, all ice clients were booked in for the winter season and plans finalized for startup of and ice install. Looking ahead to September, startup is scheduled for September 16th with ice installation to follow and first rental starting September 30th. On the work management side, all arena workers will report back to the arena on September 3rd and our seasonal employees scheduled to start in mid-September. We look forward to the start of the ice season in what should be a very busy winter out there. Good questions from Blackers.
Worship, any questions?
I have a question. Should have been allowed to, because I thought it was on page one, so I held it to the end. It'll come back to me. One question though is, I think we did a bid to sell the leftover nets, or the,
We're working on it.
working on it.
I just
Okay,
emailed
sorry.
them back to somewhere.
Okay,
And I just emailed him yesterday, so it's not.
yeah, well, if we're gonna, I thought we had a couple that we're gonna get. soon.
Yeah, we have
It's in
two sets.
progress.
Two sets.
Okay, 2 sets. And then Daniel will start in September.
Yeah, so I think the evening of the 18th, we have some schedule to start.
Um,
Yeah, I got
Keep
a
talking and
couple.
I'll see if I
small
can
things.
remember what it was.
In the ice schedule, is there any adult skate in the day?
No adult skate, I just added preschool skate.
Preschool skate isn't very well attended, so
No.
there's lots of space for adults. But traditionally, it hasn't been.
Hasn't been like, it
I
was
mean,
decent.
has it gotten
days
better?
Last year, I had to move it this year because I sold the ice that they
Yeah.
were using, take a regular pine on. So I moved it to Thursday, 1 to 2
Oh, okay.
for now,
Yeah.
and that might change attendance, I don't know.
Should put that out in the newsletter. It's,
Uh,
is it too late for the newsletter?
No.
Make it, no, advertise the Tot skate.
And every year, we kind of are in a challenge to get, are we interested in the village sponsoring any skating at Christmas? So we book that now to make sure we've got it.
I can look at the schedule.
Before we sell ice, because I know we, it always seems to be something that we try to fit it in. If we
Yeah.
can Get it in ahead.
It's okay if they sell it, we make money.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
it's tough because it always dependent on where Christmas falls, because some of our regular users won't cancel.
Yeah.
They want their ice over Christmas
Yeah.
too, because maybe their kids can go and play with them or whatever. And the adult people. There's not a lot available over Christmas. I've already had people with fires.
I'd be okay with something in January too. I think we might have even moved to January last year.
You know, if I can find like an hour and a half slot.
Yeah.
Daytime ice.
Yeah, something that we could advertise as a gift.
Okay, I will.
I'm just,
Yep.
because I
I know
know
it did in
it's
the
always
past.
an issue in the past, right? Like as to where we can fit it.
And then we start the ice
Start next Monday. to
next
cover.
Monday.
Yeah.
It's always exciting.
And I guarantee you it'll be 80 degrees.
80
degrees. Sunny and humid.
That could have been like last week or last.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, after we can. Any other questions? Right, you can always ask them.
Yeah.
later if they pop up.
Yeah.
I'll move to receive and file July and August arena monthly report.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. Public Works. You're up. Yeah.
Morning, I consolidated mine, so it's up to. Updates from last month, nothing to report back, work management. In public works. For summer students, and then we had community living staff, and then we had the arena staff. When we were scheduled, employee training, working at Heights refresher for Derek and Mike. Did all the internal SOPs, we're doing those on paper and now also, and then any safety hub training that was assigned has been completed. Operations building, interior, exterior, no issues, inspection, HSC was in for their biannual fire extinguisher inspections. Road, sidewalks, parking lots, the kids helped us make a bunch of sandbags for the security fence. Which I have to thank them for, because it was raining and really raining, and they were great, they didn't complain, they helped, and we did it. So thank them for that, because we were all soaked. Fix up any of the signage after the storm, when a few things fall down, so we're fixing that up as well. Took 7 dump truck loads of road sweepings, that was last year's road sweepings, the fall stuff, we got rid of it to get ready for, make space for any of the road sweeping we were gonna do. Picked up a load of topsoil, the kids, went around and topsoiled any of the stump grinds that we did and seeded them. The students painted all the accessibility spots that we had at the arena out front of the church. Down at Waterfront Park. And we used white and blue this time, and I think they stand out quite a bit better.
Very notes.
I think so, much more so, but it's, that's where you got the yellow for parking, and the white makes. Street sweeper was in town to do north of Michigan. Parks and public spaces, Blue Water Plumbing was in to fix a tap that was running constantly at water pump washroom. We also replaced a lock on the stall in the women's waterfront washroom. Continued tree trimming and chipping when time allowed. All the boulevard trees for this year's budget have been planted and in the ground. The Rotary Club's pancake breakfast, it says prepped and at the ready, but obviously that's been done, and I think it went really well, talking to Carol, and I think that was your turn up here. Removed the business signs from the construction site. Trimmed the cedar hedge at the hatchery and seeded and grew some grass around the pergola perimeter. Third installment of Vintage in the Village. Was written by Mike Hopkos, because it's represented by me. But yeah, it went really, that was probably, I think, the busiest one we had. I think the last one went well, we didn't said. That one there, I think we had almost 300 cars, I think, for that one. Yeah.
The last night, the rain came at 8:02.
Yeah, that scared most of them off.
It was all getting dark and
Yeah.
everything. By the time I was going to my car, the rain started, right?
Yeah.
That was the, and lightning and that, but it worked
Yeah,
out
so
perfect.
that kept everybody very prompt at what
Yeah.
time they were leaving,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah. Road tilling of the playgrounds. I had total driveway in to resurface the basketball courts. It wasn't something necessarily planned, but it does look really good, and I think it was, worth it. I don't think we want to get into why, but.
Yeah.
I'd rather, yeah,
Those
due
basketball
to
courts,
vandalism, I guess. we
but
could say
those
that.
basketball courts are used constantly.
Yeah, it's.
Like my
people don't
kitchen window
realize
looks
how
out
much-
there. I cannot believe how often kids are using them all
Yeah,
the
so
time.
one day maybe we'll think about, capitalizing, maybe we'll think about resurfacing that in the future, like, but maybe, but. What it is, but I think it's something to think about, because so much it's. Placed a couple of the solenoids at the splash pad. Trimmed the fence light at the yacht club. And repaired the dead end ropes in the gardens and the dead ends. Inspection audits report, nothing to report. Vehicle garbage truck was giving us some hard times with the check engine light, so it was in, it's now back and. Working properly, the RTV went in with the cell phone and the repeating issue, they were able to resolve that quickly and get it back to us. Other motorized equipment, we got a new set of hedge trimmers, the battery, we went with the still battery, so now. We've added where that's been really good. We're really pleased with it. Then we just had a few of our gas powered. Equipment in this for tune up, so we're looking properly, health and safety, nothing, security, nothing to report. Capital budget, tree planting, I'm not sure if that's in the capital, some of it's in capital, some of it's not, I'm not exactly sure how that, but we put it in there for what we do. Any feedback, we'll just a report. August is the last month with students, community living and the rural staff, and closing comments. July has been hot and sticky one, vintage in the village car shows done for the season, you'll ever see. For the comments.
Is there anybody left on the tree list?
Well, there is for the next year.
That's what I'm saying, like some that didn't get done this year.
Well, they all got done that were on it last year, so anybody.
Oh, so it lags a year.
Right, so
Okay.
we're done for this 2024 year, and then anybody on it now will be. But it's,
Okay, that's all I just.
and hopefully we will get a number where we're not, like, if we're only dealing with 4 or 5, we'll do what we did this year, I think planting them early,
Mhm.
rather than waiting till October, November, and makes a lot of sense. That's why we discussed before, maybe having a budget just for planting trees. But this year, I don't think we're not out of numbers, we haven't put anything, we planted them all, so it was just costly trees, basically.
Yeah, the budget line item I saw, there's all kinds of money left over.
In the tree budget,
Yeah, it was more than I saw, unless it's not
might
current.
not be
but-
up to date, but we'll see, because I know we spent some money on cutting trees this year, so we should be pretty close to maxing out that one. We had to cut a couple of big trees. Up to $50.
So the tree planting on St. Clair is separate,
Yes,
the budget, so were we
For the
taking that
capital
on?
project, yeah, that's different.
Okay. Is our people doing it or is it being done?
No, we'll probably bring out.
Yeah, because
a
it probably, a lot.
contractor.
Yeah, okay, just thinking here.
yeah, no, I'm not sure, I don't know if we're planting, but if we are, we'll try and do it. before
Jim
they-
says no.
Yeah, oh, they're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
yeah, so then we're, yeah.
Anything else?
No,
I just got a comment to make on the battery operated. Equipment. There's a big push in municipalities to get away from gas. So it's nice to see that we are transitioning over, because I know even some municipalities are looking to outlaw gas. Operated blowers and all that totally, right? And it's an issue, but it's nice to see that. And it gives you a lot of flexibility and it's safer. You know,
Yeah,
dealing
yeah,
with the
well,
gasoline and.
There is limitations to it, that's the other thing is like. You've gotta have a lot of batteries and like with some of the stuff, if you wanna do sustained. Like when my kids go out weed whacking. They can't take 7 batteries each with them, right? That's where the gas comes in handy because they're out all day doing that. Whereas they make like a backpack that holds 4 batteries, so there's some, you want kids walking around with 80 pounds of batteries on their backs, right? But the one we have now just takes a single, and it's pretty good, but if you were running the blower or the weed whacker on full. Those batteries only last so long, and we have the biggest batteries they make, but other aspects of it, like the chainsaw, the hedge trimmers. That kind of stuff, it's great, and the electric blower, if you're just going to finish off the pergola and a little bit around the pathway or the, say, doing the fire hall and the OPP, is perfect for that. But when you're going to do Michigan, weed whack Michigan, and then go over and weed whack McCray, that's where it's. The gas is still handy, and we do run 4 strokes, so we are more environmentally friendly with all of our, other than chainsaws, everything else we run our 4-stroke units, so we are more. But yeah, the gas, the electric.
Is there any concern, like I know there's concern with battery scooters and that kind of thing for fire safety.
Yeah,
So I assume there's probably recommendations from the manufacturer on how those batteries are to be stored and charged
yeah,
and
we
such, so.
only use their stuff, like,
Yeah.
the nice thing about it, you can't use. Some random charger on our steel batteries, you have to use their equipment, so we have a little station. Where all the battery stuff is, and there's 2 chargers, and then I think now we have 5 or 6 batteries. We have like one side is for each charging, one side is charged, And they're all smart chargers, so they'll charge it till it's done. And then it just goes into a maintenance mode.
Mhm.
So you can either take it out and put it aside, or if you leave it on there, it doesn't do anything unless that battery drops, so. I think as long as we continue to use that, like I think with the scooters and stuff, I think you're seeing people are buying cheap aftermarket chargers. Like they even say that with your phone. Don't be using, you gotta match up your
Okay.
amperage or your mini amps to your phone, or you can cause a problem.
That's good, as long as it's something you're aware of and
Yeah, and we
Following
keep,
their
we
procedures,
use all
that's
of the, we only use their equipment to transfer the batteries, so. But yeah, it's been, that stuff's nice. Yeah.
Okay, anything else? No. Okay, let's move to receive and file the public works report for July and August.
Seconded.
Thanks, Steve. Move on to the others.
I have some questions for you. Oh,
I brought up not a concern, but just a possible opportunity. Currently our garbage bag limit is 4 and I'm looking possibly at 3 if it makes sense. Reason this has come up is the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks estimates that all existing landfill capacity in the province will be exhausted in 11 to 14 years. So we have a finite amount of space left. Currently, waste diversion in Ontario, the target is 50% by 2020, 2030. We're currently at 30% as of last year. So it's an issue. Currently, we do have a program to reduce some waste. And it's the provincial recycling program, which we implemented last July. Province to the over. And the goal of this program is to expand materials for recycling in 2026. But there's also other stuff that's involved with that. There's organic waste. And the 2026, we don't really know what that program is going to look like at this point in time. A couple weeks ago, I did send a note off to Circular Materials because they've got an app. Remember, we used to have the recycle coach or whatever.
Mhm.
And I asked them because Sarnia has the app. I looked for my address and there was nothing in there, yet they supply our recycling through Mterra. So they said that they're gonna be in contact with the village in 2025 to set up a program for 2026 so that we'll have the app available for residents. And I forwarded this information on to Mike, so they'll be in contact with us, as this program moves along. So. And my question is, can we ask Marcotte if our current volume is within like 3 bags on a weekly basis or whatever our collection limit? Doing a very, very unscientific survey driving around the village, I see 1 can, 2 cans. I don't see loads and loads. Of course, we're in the summer where we have 2 pickups. So it's just something that, if we can move forward, because I'm a little concerned in 2026 that the industry standard now is every 2 weeks pickups, right? And I know Ottawa theirs is 3 bags every 2 weeks. So like they're really changing the way waste is handled in the province. And I'm just concerned that we might get caught somehow. So I'm trying to be a forward thinker here and move this forward. So that's my word on it. So, any comments, feedback, whatever? Is it worthwhile talking to Marcotte? Because they won't have totally accurate, but they can ask the guys know. Yes, it's the same guys all the time.
We can ask them. It doesn't hurt to ask them at all. We get emails from them. When there's something, it's generally anymore things they don't pick up. We get the occasional one that says, took 3 bags, left 2 or something, but that's fairly rare, I would say. It's more they've put something out that they're not taking.
Yeah.
So we can talk to them. The other thing we can do, we haven't used it yet, but our website has the ability to do a survey.
Okay.
So we can maybe look into that and just try and get some feedback from the community on how they would feel about it.
Yeah, because it's coming, right? And I'd rather be ahead of the game if we can, or because I hate to say it, but with the government we've got, you never know what's gonna change from day to day almost, right? So.
You could probably do tonnage for them too, like the Arcot.
Yeah,
So that would give you an idea of like how much it changes.
If it's
between winter and
reducing,
summer.
Yeah.
but
yeah, and that was another question I did have,
Do
was,
pick up and not.
is there any, if the volume drops, does that change their contract pricing at all?
No,
No?
so
it's
a
not-
volume
not-
drop would help the county because
Okay.
the county pays the tippage fees.
Okay,
Our cost is based on like fuel is a big component of
oh,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
So it's the number of stops, not the amount of material they collect at each stop.
Okay.
Now, I guess I don't know if they use 2 or 3 truckloads to go through the village. I have no idea how much. And so if you reduce the number of bags and maybe what used to take 3 trucks might now only take 2 loads, we might see a little bit of savings in fuel that way potentially. But our contract is based on number of stops and the fuel price.
Okay, I just thought, because I know Fridays, they speed through the bill pretty quick. So anyways, okay,
well, I would personally, like, when I saw that comment, I would like to. I'm 2-person family, you're a 2-person family. I don't know what large families are doing, but I drove around today. Just in my area, nobody's got a lot out. I didn't see more than 2 bags, I don't think, at most places. What I saw was more blue box stuff. I think a lot more stuff's going in blue boxes. People have multiple blue boxes.
Yeah.
I have more than one.
Well, and
I
blue
thought
box is only
Yeah.
collected every other week too, right?
Yeah,
Like garbage,
yeah,
we're a little
Right.
bit against the grain.
Yeah.
Most communities would be recycling
Oh, no.
every week and garbage
Well, we
every
also-
other week.
And blend ours. I think if you're gonna see recycling in most communities nowadays, it's very separated. It's very more strict than all the other. Then you'll see, I think you're gonna see more of that. You're gonna have a glass tin, you're gonna have clear glass.
yeah,
Colored glass, paper.
Yeah.
Like I know in London, it's all separated and it
Yeah.
better be done well, or they won't be.
I've had that in other communities I've lived in.
Yeah.
You had to segregate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even I know Sarnia did start with that. And then it all of a sudden put it all together.
Mhm.
My sister-in-law in London, she's like, really? Just throw it all in there? All of it?
yeah.
That one? I'm like, yep, throw it all in there.
That also, I think, because we have a different demographic in this town, in our community. It's a lot more seniors, I don't think. But like, again, it's 2-person family.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of garbage, but I'd like to hear from people that have
Sure.
families that, like, say, Ariana, they've got 3 kids, just
Yep.
to get an idea of,
Well, we have 2 kids and I mean, we don't generate, like I'm usually 1, maybe
Yeah, I
2
don't-
bags.
see.
Well, we do
Yeah.
a lot of recycling, like I
Yeah.
put out 6, 7 recycling cans.
Yeah.
Something.
We're a family of 5, we have 1 bag a week, we have 3 recycling.
Wow,
Yeah.
1 day a week.
And we don't have any organic waste
No,
pickup. Which
no, a lot of
is
people do put it in their compost though.
Yeah.
You'd be
a lot of
surprised.
that is, a lot of garbage is food waste, right? And there's another whole push by the province to get rid of that food waste as well, so. Okay. Any other discussion?
No,
Okay. We'll move on then. Food truck location in Waterfront Park.
it's have to grab something off my desk, keep talking.
Yep.
Right
Mike, you got
up.
a couple.
Sign. That's.
Last squinting, I want to spaz it in the problem, right? All right, good morning, thank you. The food truck, so we did, we were approached by another vendor to be able to have a a second food truck down in Waterfront Park. The existing location was deemed a little too close to the playground, specifically for the style of food and the preparation that they were looking at. So it's been suggested to move and create a new pad on the southwest side of the existing pad with the food area to create almost like a food court section, very close to the existing washrooms. It would just, in theory, would create more of a single source area where people will be able to congregate and have different options for food. With that, I have had an electrician come out and take a look. He's going to be providing me quotations, hopefully by the end of this week. He's just come on vacation, so if not, it'll be next week. But we did walk the location, and it does look like there's a capability to use the existing electricity that was run down to that space just by taking down, putting a pedestal in there and providing a new service for the truck in that location. Sevcon, I'm going to be meeting with them. Steve and I also be walking around later today to look at a number of things and hopefully incorporate quite a bit of paving all in one shot to reduce some pricing for that. And I'll get some pricing to understand what that would look like, the full cost to be able to move that and create that. So it shouldn't take very long to be able to do that once it's in place. The electricity is a fairly easy one. So I'm going to do it once the cost comes up.
So, the original vendor relocated by his choice to the bridge parking lot. But I heard a comment that they intended that to be temporary. Do we know that, or?
I have not.
I've gotten an email from him that he has a contract in that location until the end of November.
Okay.
And he would like to move over to our spot after that.
No, the only reason I was asking was if we fixed it up to be the second spot, that person has already relocated to the bridge, then we could put out another tender.
Right.
Like he
So he wants to operate in winter, is that?
He may, and we do allow for that. I think business will determine if he operates in the winter or not.
Just.
There were there were a number of maintenance potential challenges we would run into, one being solving and cleaning it up into the space if we did have that issue. One would be water. We currently have washrooms and water would be more. The water would be the issue, just because as the contract does indicate that we provide water to the people, we would have to create a heat trace line and be able to offer water when it's cold, so we don't actually create any damage. It's a potential, but again, it's an additional cost that we would have to look
And they'd
at.
have to be willing to have porta potties and not have actual.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Those are good points.
yeah,
Is that staff would need a cleanup area soon also?
Mhm.
If it's the truck they're using now, I don't think there's much space for that in their actual facility.
doesn't look very big.
So in terms of that, Steve and I had this conversation, just identifying some different avenues we'll be looking at. I'll be meeting with a vendor, a contractor later today, as we're looking at a number of different projects. And I did mention to him, is there a possibility to heat trace that? What would that look like? So we can at least get some pricing at that to take a look what would be necessary.
I think we should possibly consider in our next contracts that, we're right into the contract that your operations are weather dependent and, we're not going to tell you have to leave on the 1st of October or anything, but we are going to tell you can't be there once the weather
Under specific
temperatures.
Of course,
Good point.
Yeah. That's gonna be with a one. Like the bridge, if the bridge closes that parking lot, that's why they are contracts similar to that one, right?
We totally closed the parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine that the market is going to tell them they're not going to be there between December 1st and
He's-
March 1st, but
They're new, so they
You never know.
realizing. Okay,
Moving on. No questions? Okay, I'll move to receive and file that report.
so moved.
Okay. Next item is something I've forwarded on. And it's at AMO, I attended a ORFA seminar on recreation for life cycle of recreation facilities. And this is not just arena, it's everything. It's trails, parks, and everything. And it was I'm sure you guys are familiar with Derek, sure, Terry Pesci.
Yeah.
He's great. You know, I've seen him a couple times now and he, he spoke and he's honest. Like he's right to the point. So basically what he said was that, and our arena's not this way, but a lot of arenas are 50 years old now, right? And basically they're all Ontario. And grants that got them, so you need maintenance, you need replacement, you need this. So he's just pointing out that communities need to look at like, basically a recreation master plan for all of your facilities. Because back when these were built, there was lots of money available. Government was good to regulation made sense, changed significantly. And it was built for the kids. And the user fees were set to encourage children's recreational activities. That, this is a little bit of arena focus. And it was then, you said it wasn't for all kids, it was for some kids, right? And user fees are set on community rates based on what is in similar communities, regardless of the investment. And the fees don't cover the costs, right? The operating costs, we know that. So. And he came up with a list, and I think this is good information. It's in the package here. There's a lot of information in that package. There's like a case study on what's been done with one of the arenas, and I think the original price was 30 million. They got it down to 16 because they ended up partnering with the YMCA on a community facility with a pool and everything else. But anyways, that's what we're looking at, like 15 million for a new arena, for instance. But anyways, it says the major challenges with the back facility refurbishment or renovation, you got to know what your needs are and your versus your wants, right? There's financial limitations. We're talking huge dollars. Even replace the playground down at Waterfront Park. That's a huge financial implication. Yeah, there's lots of money needed. You got to pay for the cost of construction. Where are you going to get the resources to help you manage the project? As we're going through now, we know. And we got to understand what the public needs. So it's important to have a life cycle planning tool or program for recreational facilities. And as I said, that's parks, playgrounds, arenas, community centers, trails, and we've got all of those in the community. This plan will help ensure that equipment and systems are scheduled for replacement prior to end of life. Reduces risk of mechanical and structural failure. Reduces risk of costly emergency repairs and downtime. And also there's an insurance issue here too. If we're found that we're not keeping up on things and people do happen to have an injury or whatever, there's going to be a cost to us there through insurance. So anyways, it's just something that we need to look at. I think we should have a plan. There's government now is starting to realize that these facilities are hitting their age limit, and there's community money that can be afforded now. It's moving right emo. And it's not just, as I said, for arenas, it's for all of the recreational facilities. So my suggestion is that we look at putting something together so that we can move forward, and it's basically like an asset management plan, so that we know when we're going to hit end of life and what we need to spend before we get there. So that's just basically my recommendation, that we take this seriously and look at it, because we've got a lot of great facilities here, and we want them to, and we've maintained them well. But I think we got to look out in the future as well. That's my 2 cents on this.
Did Orpha have a list of resources or something that we could use to develop a?
It's in the back of the presentation.
Okay.
There's a list there from Orpha on resources. And from talking to them numerous times, like this time when I was there, I ended up telling them we had a new operations manager and they got, we got Micah in touch with them and they got him signed up, right? So now Mike's in the loop with Orca. So, which is good because they're, and Derek will know, they're a great resource for us, right? Especially on the arena side, but even, as I said, other facilities that we have or that we may envision, they can help us, because they got this expertise. So yeah, there's a list of, it starts out with like, when should you be inspected? Right, your facilities. And one that was key, that it says if you convert your recreation center to an emergency rescue center, which we do have, the community center is we're a community spot for emergencies. So it says what you have to ensure food supply, HVAC systems, and you should have an emergency generator because if things go wrong, that's where your people are going to be. So stuff like that, it's got an intensive, list of what you should have.
But that's covered off in emergency plan.
But they're just, I know, but they're just
Not the
saying,
arena that's planning that, it's the emergency coordinator.
but they're saying this is what your facility should have if it's an emergency facility. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's some duplication here, but it's, they'll help you with ice costs, it says here, too. Or I want to say ice, because that's basically the only thing we charge for, right? So, yeah, and they've got software available to help. So just, Orpha's out there to help us. And there's some courses coming up or whatever, and I think it's a great resource that we plug into. We already plugged in with Derek and the guys, but get Mike involved and just understand more of what they can do to help us. So.
I really believe, I think the recreational plan's a good idea. I think if we look at the data we're gonna get from our asset management materials, we'll be able to pull that out and then analyze very specific segments of the village, and the recreational plan will be one, facilities and buildings will be another, and we can do that once that data comes in place.
Mhm.
And we can get it really, really granular to be able to support something along those lines. I don't think it's something that I've seen in terms of the data that's capable of putting a strong plan together at this moment. But I think as we gather further information and data, be a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think we're looking, down the road, but if we can keep it in our focus, right? If this is kind of like where we want to be. So that sounds good to me. So that's all I had on that. So next one, arena advertising update. Mike, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I did ask Jesse to contact a number of the different arenas and municipalities in the area, just to understand where their arena pricing was for a number of the different details. Once that information came back, I was able to integrate it into our existing media kit that we have for that, and I made a number of suggestions in regards to rental spaces, specifically for signage. In the previous media kit, it had this, and it had the capability for the village to provide the signs as well with specific vendors. We can still offer that, but the suggestion that I'm finding from a number of different municipalities is that if we explain the size that we have available for it, and we give them specific details in terms of what we require for that, they provide the sign, and we will then install it and give them the ability within that. The details that you see in regards to the pricing there, it's the rental space was an updated price. Again, that was an amalgamation of a number of prices that are competitive to the marketplace in the area. And then the existing signage sizes and spaces that you see, that was laid out from the previous, and it was very well laid out. It looks really good. I think there's any necessity to change at that point.
It was very helpful to see compared to the schematic, the pricing, so like what are we actually talking about here? Whereabouts would it be located? So that was very helpful. Perfect.
Again, just these are suggested prices that I've seen and that we could look at promoting throughout the community, saying if you are interested in promoting your business or what have you, just looking at the capabilities that are there.
So the motion in the report is that we adopt the report we received and filed, and the suggested pricing structure be adopted. And then we begin the work to, as Mike said, there's a few people that have reached out to us,
Mhm.
and then start reaching out to some of the other businesses in the area as well, to see if they're interested.
I'll move that we receive and file and, move on with this pricing structure.
Receive and file doesn't mean move on.
Well, that the report we
Right.
received and filed and the suggested pricing structure be adopted.
Yeah,
That's,
just
yeah,
add that
okay.
second part.
Yeah.
Or else it disappears,
That's right. Okay.
and you don't want to lose your word.
Oh, thank you.
No. We've been anxiously awaiting this. Thank you. I think it'll be a
So I appreciate that.
good revenue generator.
Yeah.
For us, and it will, refresh the village. You're reading?
It's good on work. It does, yeah, it really does.
Move on. Once again, Mike. Read that.
I'm back at it. Yes, so, where did I put that? Thank you. Right here. So this is the analysis. I believe Jim's forwarded on the actual physical data. What I was able to do is I reviewed all the trends from the beginning of the data collection to current. When I was doing the every 2 week analysis, I noticed that it was almost too micro to truly understand trends. So with that, the Michigan data was from February, the Front Street data was from May, and I was able to do a month by month analysis and then pull that data into a dashboard, which then indicates a full trend line of what we're looking at. From that, we're looking at Front Street specifically. The data again began at the beginning of May, broke it out into not only the average speeds, but maximum speeds that we found throughout the month. Some total traffic data, which I think feels very important, but then you break it down to the daily averages that are there. And it allows us to see some speed distribution patterns that are going on in that space. So as we continue with Front Street, the average speed and the traffic data, specifically southbound, the volumes were significantly higher, as well as the speeds were significantly higher on the outgoing traffic on Front. The incoming traffic, there was a lot of respect in terms of, or I should say more respect in terms of the speeds going outbound. As if you've reviewed the data, you can see that there's some pretty dramatic changes that are going on.
It's crazy.
People are leaving the village at a very high rate of speed, so on average. And like I say, 64% of the outbound traffic actually conformed to the speed limits, and 3% were excessive, which means like 60, 70 kilometers an hour. Conversely, 50% of traffic coming outbound, again, half the traffic going outbound, with 8% at really exceeding speed. So there's some high details there. And again, it's a number of people, 57% are leaving the village using Front Street, and only 43 coming in. But the traffic volumes are quite high. That's 6,600 a day. That's a lot of traffic that is transiting that space at that time. With again, the maximum traffic volume of over 280,000 vehicles in June. So from that, we took Michigan. I did the same analysis on Michigan, and noticing that the average speed and the traffic indicated eastbound speed. So the outgoing speeds were significantly higher. So people again leaving the downtown core of the village. They were quite a bit higher, and the traffic volumes were slightly higher. That's much more even rate as you looked at that. But again, as you can see, the average speed analysis is 78% of people are actually conforming to the speed limits down that space. I think, and I've seen it personally, that you can see that sign is making a difference. And there was one specific trend line that I did on the data where it had the daily average traffic versus the actual speeds of the average speeds of people, and you can see the trend line is decreasing. So they are lowering their speeds, even though traffic volumes are lowering. I think it is because it's becoming more of an understanding that, oh, there's a sign there, it's 50, I should slow down. And so I noticed that tends to be more of a something that we've seen in that space. Conversely, the traffic going inbound and outbound yeah, being the same thing, but yeah, there are still some excessive speeds that we have seen coming outbound from Michigan, but not nearly the same rates. 7,300 vehicles per day on average in terms of that, which is incredible amount. And you're looking at July, which was our big month there, 266,000 vehicles transiting.
Well, compared to, I dug up from the traffic study. And the numbers they have compared to the numbers we have, it's like. What did he said, 1,400 a day? Well, like. Then that would be both ways. Now, like, we're talking like a crazy amount.
Yeah, they had a factor in place during the speed study. I think it was for two times higher, 2.5 times
Yeah,
higher in the
yeah.
summer. But even so, that's, I mean, that's
60.
Yeah, because their actual measurements were taken in like October,
No,
November.
November,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like the action, now that we have actual data,
Mhm.
you know, this is very enlightening, right? The amount of volume we have in the village.
Mm.
So,
So it's, the data that was provided to you is their snapshots of, again, the spreadsheet. It's a living document, so everything, once the months change, everything changed the dashboard itself. It just gives you the capability to be as granular as look out as much as you want to.
But that's still impacted by our current situation,
It is.
so it's not the norm yet. I'd like, I mean, that's great to have. I want to see what happens when the road pattern goes back
Mhm.
and what's the difference.
I do have a question on this though. Like, even it's significant. It's a significant increase no matter what, even if it's not the true number now. But when we did the crosswalk. The PXO design for crosswalks, they're designed for a certain volume of travel. Since the volume's so much higher now, should that be revisited to see if the
I was just thinking the same thing.
PXOs may not, that we're looking at, the crosswalks may not be suitable? We may have to go up a level?
I would agree. I mean, from the study that was provided, again, the numbers, they had suggested a specific traffic calming measures that come into that space. So again, that number of, are we gonna create longer, very, very slow aspects for people to be able to enter the village and that sort of thing. So I think it probably benefits us to look at that as well.
Yeah.
Something.
That triggered to me, like, I know, you know, we're talking bulb outs and everything else, but it's just like. Maybe like,
Again, I think, as the mayor pointed out, once the full traffic patterns are available again down Light and St. Clair,
Yeah.
that will be that other option where a number of people did egress into the village. So
sure,
I think,
Yeah.
it might allow a lower volume of traffic down Michigan. We'll have to see what that is, but
I think it's a good idea though to share this data with the engineer
yes.
and you can see the actual traffic counts and see if it.
Should we share with the OPP as well?
Yep.
Right, I think that'd be helpful, because I know I've spoken to one of the officers, and he used to be stationed in the Point. And he was back, and I said, how you, he goes, oh my goodness, he says, I can't believe how much traffic there is. Like, he was shocked, because he said he was here a number of years ago, because him and I ran into each other when that tree fell on Michigan Ave. So, like, he responded, so, you know, we had some dialogue then, and then I saw him one day. And he, like, it was very noticeable to him as an officer that what's changed in the village, like, there's so much traffic down, like, well, front, Michigan, all this, like, he was pretty astounded with the volume, so, anyway.
the monthly reports will indicate the hourly data, which shows the most
Yeah.
speeds in that. So that would be good information for people.
Right, and,
Yeah.
in our last police board meeting, help me out, Jim, I believe it was 44 speeding tickets they gave out. And I noticed a lot of time was spent watching Front Street. No, I mean, you could talk about, but it was 44 speeding tickets.
I don't know.
Well, I
Yeah.
reflected on that with him.
Yeah.
Because I said that's good information, because that's what we hear about all the time from residents is about speeding.
Yeah.
So it was just indicative of they are doing tickets.
Yeah, oh yeah. And the speed, as much as, you know, as a resident, we think they're speeding, the data says they're not, but it's just the volume, right? And the noise created by those two-wheel
Yeah,
motorcycles.
it is interesting. I reviewed the data very stringently because when it came from the averages, the system was indicating where the average speeds are. And it was indicating that it's lower than the 50 km/h rate as an average. And I think that's point data looking at what it is. When I go into more of the distributions, that's where you can see the 55% are conforming of the volume of traffic. So that's why I wanted to give you multiple aspects within that, so we have a broader view of what that looks like.
Well, it's great data. It's so nice to have.
An earlier one before your time. A study on Louisa Street showed speeding from 8 to 9 and 4 to 5 on Louisa Street, because people were complaining about Louisa being a problem. They said it's the residents in the area going to work and coming home from work.
Yeah.
Could be, right? Can't prove that, but everybody's in a hurry.
Any other questions or?
No, we're just,
So we've received and filed?
Yeah,
Okay. Do that. Oh, next. Asphalt repairs in Waterfront Park. I brought that up because I noticed the south walkway is flooded once again. And it stays flooded for days after a rain. Might have
It's
to-
not raining, it's the sprinklers.
Oh, is that the
That's why
sprinklers?
it's always flooded. The sprinklers
Oh,
run every day
okay.
but one day.
Oh, okay, I thought it was from the rain.
No,
Because there are days that there's nothing.
those are the days that shut off probably. It's off every Thursday for us to cut the park, so you're probably
Oh.
noticing that Thursday, a little stress,
Okay.
and that's why.
So specifically, thank you, if I may, so specifically for that area, as Steve and I have walked that area, it does look like there is a little bit of depression holding in the water in that space as well. If you've seen on the east side of the parking lot, there is a French drain that's been put in that place directly along that, so it looks like that needs to be cleaned out. There's some growth in that space, which is stopping water from actually entering the French drain to be able to drain away. I think those two, if we can clean that area, and then Steve and I were gonna go, not only walk that space, but a number of different locations to be able to, look for asphalt repairs and.
That is one of the locations that's already been set up with subcons, they're built up between the poplars, the S-turn between the poplars. And that section from the parking lot to where the path meets it, are the two sections that said we were to build up by at least 3 inches.
it's related to the tree roots as well, right?
Well,
I thought there was an
the
issue.
one at the S-turns is.
At the S-turn,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right, under the big poplars.
Yeah,
That's,
But it also puddles there really bad.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere for that water to go, unfortunately, there's no drains, and we've got the bridge and the service road right
Yeah.
there, so. Our only option there is to build up and then maybe see if we can't cap one of those sprinklers or have it just do 180-degree pattern. We have tried that in the past. It runs down those berms, that's the problem.
Mm.
So a lot of grass would be dead if we don't have it. So it's kind of a catch.
we'll also have to review the sprinklers with indication of the food truck as well, just if we're looking at that pad, Steve and I mentioned, there might be a sprinkler or two that has to be taken out.
come on in and wash the truck.
That's right, exactly right. Wash your truck, wash your
Yeah.
patrons.
Yeah.
We get cameras, we'll sit there and turn it on.
Yeah. Use at your own risk
Yeah.
after 6
Yeah,
PM or
that's
something.
exactly right. They don't come on till midnight.
Anything else on that?
I started with, there was an injury, of a woman who walked along Waterfront Park. We did go inspect that space. There is a crack and it does fall off into that space. It doesn't look like it's anything that is a major concern. When I was at that, we did end up putting a pylon down, but that is a location that we'll be looking.
So is that along the waterfront,
Yeah.
the water?
Yeah, we'll do a full walk along that waterfront just to confirm if there's anything on that.
I think it's the transition though, isn't it? The-
It's-
the skinny little path between
It's
waterfront and the
It's,
hatchery.
it's right where that comes in
Oh.
place. It does look like there's a tree root that may have caused that.
Cause I had a
question as well.
section redone last year that were bad. So, I mean, cause when Subcon was doing the work for laws. I had them come and cut out a section and they did. Well, not fix that area, so it must be something else.
It's just down, it's just down. It's fixed, yeah.
Okay, just on that pathway, new signage is coming next month to the committee. They've got some, because there's concerns raised about the confusion down there with bikes and people and all that, so I was happened to be talking to the girl last week at a trails meeting, and, they're looking to bring a possible, solutions and that, to help us with what's going on under there, because it can be chaotic at times with people and bikes and that, so. Anyway, so we'll see where that goes. Anything else? You see and file that report? The Arena Monthly,
Mike's got a couple of other new business
Sorry.
items, I
And so
think,
do I.
still.
I do, yes, thank
new
you.
business, thanks, guys, sorry.
One of the, I'd like to start with the, live barn camera. That was one of the items that was asked to do some research on. So Derek and I had contacted Live Barn and had a conversation with them, a Teams conversation, gentleman by the name of Patrick. Just take a look at what the opportunities and options for Live Barn cameras in our arena. What that would look like. Some of the questions that we did ask is how long would the integration of camera take to install into the arena? They mentioned once a contract signed, it would only be within 3 weeks. All the equipment they have, the biggest time or the biggest hurdle that they would receive or have any challenge was bringing a new internet line. It will be a dedicated line that is Live Barn would support for that space. They'd have nothing to do with the village at that point. Their equipment would be installed, all the hardware would be run within 2 or 3 days within the arena, as they mentioned. They would just need access to be able to complete that. And it would be very quick and easy transition to be able to do so. I said, what's the cost of the village for this? There'd be no cost to the village. They want to have a partnership in the sense that they will provide the camera systems. We will provide the promotional material to get people to subscribe into it. What their suggestion is they can have QR codes or anything in terms of codes. Somebody comes in, wants to subscribe to Live Barn, they use our code, they get a 10% discount for Live Barn. We will get 20% of their annual cost back to the village as a revenue stream.
I'm confused. What are they getting?
So,
Like, what are you buying?
so I have Live Barn.
Yeah,
Live-
okay. I don't know what it is.
So it is a video streaming service to allow, say, parents, grandparents.
To
somebody
watch
that's-
the games.
To watch the
Okay.
games, and it's not hockey, not only hockey, it's
Yeah.
baseball, it's lacrosse, it's swimming.
Okay.
They've got a multi-use platform. So it's a camera system that is installed over the ice. It gives you a full 180-degree view. And you can log in and watch your grandson's game or your son's game or your daughter's game or what have you.
Two facilities that I go to with my grandchildren, you cannot take photos.
Okay.
So how does that work?
So it will depend on the municipality and depend on the association.
Like, it's the gym and it's the pool.
So, very good. That's a good question. I'm vice president of minor hockey in Petroleum. As part of the registration model, I have written a waiver in for
Okay.
everybody's that says, understand that if your player plays,
Mhm.
they will be filmed. They will
Okay.
be, images will be taken of them and they could be used as promotional material.
Oh, that's good.
Everyone that
That's
enters
good.
has to do.
Yeah,
We gotta do it too.
Right. Exactly. So it's a waiver that's built in. So that is something that I know other municipalities have had challenges with that, and it's more of the security. I don't know who's gonna be watching my child do it at this point. To combat that, there are a couple ways Live Barn is, that was actually my next point. How do you handle security in regards to that? They had mentioned that they would give us administration rights if the municipality comes on board with this. Derek, myself, would have the ability to be able to go in, and if an association, say, when Edward Minor Hockey said, we don't want to have Timbits, we just shut it off during that time frame. And no one can access it, the
Okay.
camera is off. Or if they would say that, during the skating sessions, we only want parents of the skating sessions to be able to watch this, you can give a code. So if you can only access it if you have the code.
wow.
So it's not live to everyone versus, I know Silver Stick was very interested. They just want to have it available so people can watch Silver Stick or what have you. So there are options for controls in that space where it's just not open all the time. If a beer league's on and nobody wants to watch it, or they do want to watch it, you can then give access to it at any point.
That's good, thank you.
So as a finalization, I just said, from the documentation, I do have a copy of the contract here. I will pass along. But it's from reading the contract and then having a conversation with Patrick and Derek and I reviewing it. It looks like a good opportunity. And again, with a potential revenue stream as small or as large as maybe 20%. A typical Live Barn subscription, I think, is about $100 a year. So if they get a 10% discount from Live Barn, but we get 20% of that as an annualized cost, there could be some revenues that are seen in that.
That's good.
And it's the more we promote it, I mean, anybody can use our code. You almost want to put it everywhere because they use the code, even though they're in Toronto, we still get the revenue.
Yeah.
for it. So.
Goes back to our account.
Well, that's where it pays off too, because families that don't live here,
Right,
they can still be part of what the kids do.
that's the promotional.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
excellent.
Being a grandparent,
Yeah.
that's very enticing.
So Blue Water Gymnasium, and they could adopt that into their sign up.
Yeah, they might,
Right.
Mike and I discussed, there might be some administrative work at the
Yeah.
start, so I don't know if the skating club will want it on,
Yeah,
but again, we know their times every week.
yeah, for you to shut it.
And if we
Yeah,
go in and we shut it off from 3 to 7 every Monday to Friday, then
yeah, no, that's
shut
great.
off. But I think it
It
is.
does.
Once
It's hour by hour.
It's actually gonna be that initial, let's get it set up.
Yeah.
How we want it.
Yeah, it's every half an hour.
Work.
It's work. It's-
And they will help us with that. That's part of the support system, software support. They'll help us set this up and help us train.
Great.
So we should have a recommendation. I'm not sure if the committee is comfortable with recommending the implementation or if you'd prefer to refer it to council for a decision. But we should try and get a decision this month.
Yes.
Get it implemented as quickly as we can.
I'll make a recommendation, we forward this on to council.
Yes,
Okay.
We'll refer it to council for a decision at the
so it'd be done this month.
September 24th meeting.
We-
And then we'll circulate your report.
Thanks, Margaret. Thank you.
And then you had one other, I think.
One additional item, if I may, it's regarding the HVAC systems that support this building here. We have the two furnaces that are down in the basement. They have reached the end of life without having significant costs in terms of repairs and downtimes, as we've seen so far. The initial budget that was set up for the conversion and the initial pricing that was received was for a like-for-like unit, Carrier gas units for heating and air conditioning units with a medium energy efficiency rating of 5 and 4 tons respectively. And as we can see, that each one of the thermostats, there's a single thermostat on each level, providing a centralized temperature. With energy efficiency, and as it was been brought up earlier in terms of trying to reduce the number of gas type aspects, I did have some pricing done by Black McDonald to give us a like-for-like model and then some additional models that would also support what is there. So your furnace, your gas. But then I also asked for a more energy efficient heat pump that is electric only removal of all gas that still gives you the capability for cooling and heating capabilities. As well as a Nest or some type of smart thermostat, which can give more individual room temperatures and then we can adjust controls at that point. From that, I asked them to go back a couple times. I didn't like their first price and I didn't like their second price, so they came back third time with price, which is more in line to our budget, but it will still exceed our budget if we want to look at this. If we wanted to go for a like-to-like unit, we could fall within the budget, but that again would be without any smart thermostats, just as standard. If we wanted to go with something more of a heat pump system, by the looks of it right now, it could be a potential of about $5,000 over our existing budget. We currently had, well, I retract that. We had $31,000, I believe, as a building base budget. Almost 5,000 of that was used for the flooring that was completed out here. The remaining is just over 27,000. Right now, we're looking at about $34,000 for a heat pump system and probably another 1,500 for the smart thermostats. My suggestion is that we purchase the smart thermostats individually. There are some rebates that can, IESO is currently giving out, so we could look at some rebates as well. I think what $75 a thermostat we require two of them, as well as temperature sensors. So if we did that individually, Black and Max said they would incorporate that into the system with no additional charge. That would be helpful.
Oh.
So
By going that route, isn't there some longer term savings though?
without question,
When
yeah.
you can alter the temperature, like in a room like this isn't used every day?
Correct. I think that the key with looking at this would be one, as a macro, the units themselves are about 2.5% more, so 250% more efficient than our existing units. Just because it is an air-to-air system and they do use electrification to be able to do that. You won't be heating in the heating coils in the existing system. You're using a lot more gas to be able to heat the space versus what would be necessary if we looked at the newer unit. So you find efficiency there. You'd remove a fossil fuel, which are removing a fuel source. You'd be increasing the electrical, but as an overall statement, your return on investment would be much higher. You'd be, let's say, at least 250% more efficient, which would be operational aspect of the unit. The lifespan is within the same, I think about 20 years on the lifespan with proper maintenance, which we make sure that we do. Right now, as I spoke earlier to Jim, that this would be a perfect time to do it, the shoulder season, where you're not getting the heat outside of the last week and this week. And we're not getting the cold. So it would be a great time to be able to make that transition. Within the next little bit, I have spoken to the vendor. They are capable of providing the heat pumps. There's not many left in Ontario because it's becoming a very used item, and these are residential size. So that would be something we would want to make sure that we've done it quickly. I just wanted to bring it to the council committee's attention, the council's attention, that we would probably exceed the budget by.
We need to approve it?
Well,
Do we need a recommendation?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think what we're recommending is that we go with this more efficient system with the recognition that there's about $7,500 above budget.
I would say
Um,
I will work to make it as limited
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
so I think that's where we're going.
Right.
If you have great objections to that, then we would pull back and wait and take a report to council and see what the.
I think it makes sense.
I have no issue with it. I'm all about technology and moving forward, and I think this is fantastic.
So what I'll do is, like, there doesn't need to be, this is a receive and file report, just
Yeah.
an acknowledgement that we're doing this. I'll send them an email to council this afternoon saying that we're doing it. And unless we hear large objections from somebody, we'll proceed. Because as Mike said, it would be nice to get this,
Absolutely.
you know, get it ordered.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks.
And we got a window,
Mhm.
and there's product out there.
There is, yeah, and I can let them know once it's been in place. I'll let Travis know, and he'll have it on the order.
That's perfect. Thank you for using your expertise in this area to help us out.
Yes.
This isn't-
Yes.
This isn't in the package, so it's a late addition.
Yeah,
So it's
I've seen those before.
Yeah, I was approached by the county. And asked if we would incorporate one of those. They were talking about the splash pad. It's part of the diversity program, and they would look at, like, they bring and put stuff up, like the kids are pamphlets and things like that. But we're also allowed, if we want to put up any pointers posters or anything that we want. But when we were talking about it, and we think the better position would be down towards the waterfront, near the washrooms, not by the splash pad. The splash pad's only a seasonal thing, down by the wash.
Actually,
rooms.
near the food truck.
And we were talking about the work that's going on at the new food trucks. And they've got the thing ready to send if we would agree to take it.
There's like a keyboard.
Yeah,
Like a
they're,
message board, right?
Big message. board.
they're located in different places. I think there's one in Enniskillen and one in.
It's a plywood base, 6x6.
Yeah.
The one if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
If, it looks like there's a door system, stable or what have you, but then you put a plexiglass door that'll be locking over top of it, so nobody's gonna be able to not vandalize it as late as possible. I mean, it's prevent that. One of the challenges I requested us to look at was the securing it into the ground, because it is a big, heavy unit. It does look like it does have some top weight, so if anybody can start to swing on it, how would we be able to secure that into the ground?
That's
There's-
almost something we could just put between the men's and women's washrooms on the building. Right, you think I'm real about that aspect of it, like if you wanted to do a message board. You look at the waterfront washrooms, there's all that wall space in between.
Well, they specifically have that unit
They're hoping to support them now too.
that's sitting, waiting to be delivered.
They have those a lot of.
Yeah, it'd be nice not to put it on the grass.
That's what I
You
was.
suggested concrete.
Yeah, if we can lag it, I would want it lagged down somewhere if we could.
Yeah.
Have to look, I think we should like to identify.
All the space we have in those picnic table, and concrete picnic table spot.
So I think all we need for
Yeah.
today is the committee okay with doing it,
Actually,
and then we'll figure out the right spot.
Where the food truck was supposed to go.
it's great.
Right, we go there.
That's a great idea.
There's already out
Yeah.
there.
They have stuff like this at the trailheads.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen it
Howard
at
West,
Russell Park.
you've seen them, right? Like they have them all
You can
over.
tell people when you're there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're gonna see a few more of those pop up around.
You can give it to Mike.
Thank you.
We can find a spot for it.
Thank you. I'll let her know, and then I'll let her know you can hear from her.
Because just on that, there's a push through the insurance companies now to have some trail signage up to make sure that your liability is covered, because if people are walking on a trail without knowing the hazards, there could be issues too. Everything is insurance driven anymore in the society. So I think we're gonna be hearing more and more about that. We talked about it at our last trail meeting, so. Anyways, I think it's a good idea.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's it. Nothing else?
That was all I had. Oh. Oh, no, I got something else outside here. I'll ask you a question. It's for later.
Okay, that's it. And for that, okay, we'll go to financial statements.
Traffic. one.
Arena monthly. Only thing I noted was roof inspection still outstanding. And it's a significant savings on concrete floor. That's the entire bill. That's fantastic. There you go.
Which we use the access.
Yes, for the other, so it
Yeah.
was money well spent.
Yeah, we never get to say that. You know, it's supposed to.
It's a savings 2 for
Well,
1.
it's a savings in a way, right?
One of my
Project out of it.
Yeah.
One of my questions was going to be, how did we pay for the hot water system at the community hall, because there's no line item in the budget for it.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was great.
It's miraculous.
Move it, receive and file.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. Public Works financial statements. Don't have anything there, really. We've got some stuff on the go still on capital. But, I have no other questions. Anything, your worship?
No.
Okay. Receive and file. Next meeting.
I'm sorry, I did, write a quick blurb in terms of the information for, St. Clair's.
Thank you.
And thank you on that, just keep it very high level. Thanks for the work that's been put in to move that project forward. Like, it's right. It's like that. Anyways. Our next meeting date will be October 8th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Move to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.